21.3 Ergogenic Aids, Kirsty Miller-Hudson. Introduction. Ergogenic aids can be mechanical, pharmaceutical, physiological, nutritional, or psychological. According to Erin in Sports Nutrition, in the context of sport, ergogenic aids can be defined as a technique or substance that is used to enhance an athlete's performance. All types of aids are associated with exercise performance and are seen to try and help an athlete by aiding them to success. However, not all aids are legal. For example, the use of drugs within sport is not permitted. Ergogenic aids can vary to suit different sports participants. For example, an aid can be a swimsuit to help someone become more agile and streamlined in swimming, or it could be the use of shoes that have extra grip on them for sprinters. Furthermore, the use of blood doping and drugs will make a weightlifter gain muscle mass, or it can be as simple as the use of caffeine. Many aids can have a positive and negative effects to them, which can cause complications for the athletes that are using them. Ergogenic aids can be used by recreational sports participants, such as someone in a local football club. However, they can also be used by world-class athletes who compete in competitions such as the Olympics. Using ergogenic aids can benefit athletes mentally and physically as they can help them in training. For example, a gymnast may rely on a harness to help them develop a certain type of tumble before they perform it on the floor. They will mentally and physically be supported when using it because they know that they are safe when trying out the skill. This means it has a positive effect on the athlete. However, it also negatively affects them because they may become physically reliant on having the trust in the harness, making them have mental blocks when they are expected to perform the skill without it. This means that the aid can have a negative effect on the athlete, which are things that need to be considered before you use them. This assignment is focused on the heptathlete and how ergogenic aids can be an advantage to them. However, it is also how they can lead to being disadvantages, affecting their performance in multiple ways. A heptathlete takes part in 7 events across 2 days. On the first day, they compete in the 100-metre hurdles, high jump, shot put and the 200-metre sprint. Then on the next day, they compete in the long jump, javelin and lastly the 800 metres. They are a main organisation which can control the use of ergogenic aids to ensure that they are safely and appropriately used across all sports. The organisations on the screen have a role in supporting athletes by providing them with rules and regulations which they must follow if they are to take part in competitive sport. Ergogenic aids are mainly used by competitive athletes because they need to succeed quickly to reach the levels that they need to. However, athletes who play recreationally do not have such pressure on them to complete at a certain level because they only play at their local club where they are able to gradually work up to success. However, this is not the same for athletes who compete in things such as the Olympics, as they usually have a lot of pressure coming from the press, their coach and themselves to perform in a certain way, usually in a certain amount of time. This means that they may rely on some aids to help them progress quickly. Being able to progress in sport is important because by improving race time to be faster, it is more likely that the athlete will win a medal in their event. Recreational athletes may also use types of aids such as heart rate monitors like what is on a Fitbit. This can also help them with other things such as daily calorie intake. The organisations all work together in different ways to ensure maximal safety and equal competition for their athletes. The first organisations I'm going to focus on is the IOC and BOC. This is the International Olympic Committee and the British Olympic Association. The role of these committees is to ensure that people don't cheat within the Olympic Games, therefore they must remain in control of what aids can and can't be used prior and during the Games. They set out rules and regulations which they send to athletes weeks and months before the Olympics take place, so that the athletes are able to train and adapt to the types of aids that they are able to use. Some are legal and they are okay to continue to use in training. However, some aids are illegal and these will need to be removed from training, otherwise the committee has authority to ban you from competing in the Games. The rules of the Games differ on different years, therefore it is important that the rules are always checked when they are sent out. For example, one year you may be checked and you have the presence of caffeine in your body and that will be allowed. However, the the next year you may be checked and banned from competing. One major aid that they focus on in the Olympics is being clean on drug use. They aim to prevent and detect drug use across all athletes across the world, spending $500 million on testing per year. According to Olympic.org, we aim to ensure only clean athletes are allowed to compete in competitions by focusing on detection and deterrence, which is further supported by athletes and education. Having this sort of control means that the Olympic Committee and the British Olympic Association is able to support athletes to ensure that events are equal and fair to every individual. The next committee linked to the control of the use of ergogenic aids is WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. Established in 1999, the organisation is composed and funded by sports movements and governments across the world. It uses scientific research, education and the development of anti-doping drug capacities and the monitoring of the doping code to try and create equal and fair opportunities for all competitive athletes. Their role is to set out rules on which drugs are illegal and which are legal to use, and what you can take for certain events. The committee follow main regulations themselves to ensure that they are supporting their athletes fully at all times. They use code compliance monitoring to see how people are accepting new rules and regulations. They do this worldwide so that when everyone comes together in one event, they know that each individual is following set terms. WADA also works to help educate people on drug doping. They teach young athletes, doctors, coaches and parents to help them see the dangers of doping so that they can further understand the consequences that it may have on an individual. This includes legal policies to try and help protect athletes from making the wrong decision by using certain drugs. The next organisation is UK Sport. UK Sport is a leading government agency in sport to help plan and support major events. It works with similar governing bodies such as Sport England to support grassroots and recreational teams in sports, helping to inspire and fund various events and teams across the country. For example, Young Seagulls, who works with Brighton Football Club. It works alongside the other organisations to ensure that any events that are being held in the UK, such as Wimbledon, the tennis tournament, is successful and safe for all athletes attending. According to UK Sport, the event programme is focused on supporting high-performance success for athletes, creating high-profile opportunities to help people engage with sport, and it can also aim to drive positive economic benefit for communities in the UK. UK Sport is sponsored by the National Lottery, where they are provided with over £40 million in support of a £150 million programme, allowing them to help host major international sporting events from 2013 to 2023. This organisation works alongside the IOC, WADA and the BOC in the Olympics to ensure that athletes are tested for the use of illegal ergogenic aids before the games begin. They work to ensure that events run by them go smoothly and the competition is fair for everyone that is involved within it. This includes it being fair for competitors, coaches and also spectators. UK Sports funds every Great British athlete who has a chance of winning a medal within the 2013 to 2023 timeframe. They do this to aid the assessments of the athletes by helping giving them all-round support. This includes working alongside them to ensure they are fit and legally ready to take part in an event. The last organisation is Sport England. This organisation works to support recreational teams and grassroots sports. Their ethos is to support everyone in joining in with sport regardless of age, gender, ability or background. They aim to address injustice within sport and make it equal and as enjoyable for everyone as possible. They are supported greatly by UK Sport, who are funded by the National Lottery. This funding across these organisations means that the people are able to join in with sport with no one being left out. They run campaigns such as This Girl Can, which aims to help girls become equal in sport, regardless of their shape, size and ability. They are an organisation which supports local and community sports groups. They don't majorly focus on ergogenic aids. However, if teams compete against each other, such as in a county athletics competition, they may work with other organisations to ensure that everyone is safe and in a legal position to take part. Although they wouldn't usually test for the use of ergogenic aids, they may send out rules for what you are and are not allowed to use before an event. For example, someone taking part in an athletics competition may have to check whether certain things are allowed to be consumed before the games. One key one is normally caffeine, which is consumed as an ergogenic aid because it's a stimulant. From year to year, the organisations can decide what is and what isn't legal for that year's competition.